Hi, welcome back to Mr. Stewart's Lessons. We are working on a maze game here, and today what I'm going to show you about is how to make a obstacle that you can't penetrate. There's a lot of ways to do this, but I'm going to show you a really easy way that works very well. So right now I just have a little mouse in a maze. If you want to have this lesson so you can work with it, you can download it at mrstewartslessons.com, lesson 18 demo. But you can pretty easily make a similar thing just like I did. I didn't do anything fancy. I just put the walls in by dropping them in by using your shift key and dropping the walls in where they go. So just like this. So and then moving them in place. That's all I did. And these are just simple Greenfoot images. So there's nothing fancy going on. You can see these have just been added by Greenfoot itself just to make it really simple. So what I want to do is I want to make these walls so I can't go through them. First I need to make the mouse move. I'm going to just make him move with the arrow keys. We already have code for doing this. If you go to there's already a video lesson to do this, and in my code clips at Mr. Stewart's Lessons I have move with arrow keys. So I'm just going to paste this code right in here, which is just the code for, and I'll do auto layout. This is just the code for making something move with the arrow keys. This is something you've seen before if you've been following. If Greenfoot is key down right, then we set the rotation to 0, which is pointing right, and we move 5. If Greenfoot is key down, then we set the rotation to down, which is pointing down, move 5, and so on. And we'll see what happens if we do this right now. So right now my mouse can move around with the arrows, but of course he can walk right through the walls, which isn't very good if we have a maze game, right? It's kind of useless. So what I want to do is I want to make it so he can't get through the walls. There's a lot of ways to do this, which would be, one would be to check if there's a wall in any direction before we hit it, but there's actually an even easier way, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So I'm going to open up the mouse's code window here, and what I want to do is basically when I move, I want to check for an obstacle. If I hit an obstacle, I want to move backwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a method called check obstacle that just does exactly this, that checks for an obstacle. So I'll call it public void and this is what's going to look to see when we move, to see if we hit an obstacle. And what's going to happen, if you think about it, if I move into a wall, I'm going to be right on top of it. And so we're going to be intersecting with the wall when we move on top of it, which we don't want to see ourselves intersecting with the wall, but if we do it right, we'll see that that never happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say actor wall equals, and we'll use the get one intersecting object method. And we'll say wall.class. So we're actually going to see if we land on top of a wall. And you've seen me do this many times. Basically, we're just checking for a collision, which we've done many times before. So I'm going to say if wall not equal null. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say move -5. So basically we're going to move back to wherever we moved, because we move forward right now 5 whenever we move, but if we're on top of a wall we're going to move back -5, and just watch what happens when I do this. So now I'm just going to put this at the end of each of my move methods. I could probably do this just once at the end of the whole thing, but I'm going to put it, so after I move, for each one I'm going to check. I'm going to paste check obstacle after each line where I move. So right? So let me just take you down right down here. I created this method check obstacle, which checks if we're on top of a wall. Checks if we're on top of a wall. If we are, the wall's not equal null, then we're going to move backward -5. That's our method here, check obstacle. And then I'm going to put that method, I'm going to call that method after each time that I move forward. I'm going to call the check obstacle method. Now this doesn't seem like it ought to work. It seems like I should end up on top of the wall and you should see it. It doesn't seem like it should work right. So just watch what happens though. If you notice, I try and move here. When I come to a wall, I just don't go forward. Now, what's really happening is I'm moving on top of the wall and moving back, bouncing back. But the thing is, it happens so fast in Java that you can't actually see it happening. So it works just fine as a method for an obstacle blocking you. As I said, there's more advanced methods to do this, which is using getObject@offset, but then I have to check in every single direction when I move. Whereas this way, it just checks right now and prevents me from moving through an obstacle. It's a very simple shortcut way to make a maze that I can't move through. And I will see you again soon.